Hey guys, Mr. T here, just doing a quick video on how to analyze or look at your acceleration graphs. This is a very specific graph for the Pasco ultrasonic motion sensor, but a lot of your acceleration graphs might look the same, so this may be applicable to those as well. So this is a typical run here. If you want to zoom in, you've got this sort of X with the arrows pointing out along the bottom bar on the graph, so I'm going to press that, and so it's zoomed in automatically for me. So I'm going to take each feature of the graph one at a time. So obviously the start of the trials is at 0 there. So you don't actually let the trolley go down straight away from when it starts recording. So you can see that this area here, it is a 0 acceleration. It's only deviating slightly. It's moving back and forth. Why? Because that is that's the time between when you started the trial and you are holding it before you let it go. Okay, so that's the beginning of the trial basically, where it hasn't accelerated away from the sensor. Now you have this section here where there is not 0 acceleration, there's a positive acceleration. And why is that? Because the trolley is rolling away from the sensor, so it's accelerating away, so it's a positive acceleration. All right. Now, this giant peak here, it starts with a positive acceleration and then reaches a 0 deceleration, and that's a specific feature as well. That's the time it takes for the trolley to stop. Okay? So that's another feature, this little drop from the top of the acceleration down to 0. This whole peak then is the deceleration when it hits the thing that it's colliding with. All right? The other side of that peak is something different, because what does the other side of that peak indicate? It indicates a changed direction. So it bounced back from the collision. So you need to keep that in mind as well, what that means. Ultimately, you'd want something like this at the end, so where it stopped moving, but obviously we're not in a perfect world here, and you have this series of peaks and troughs here. And why do you think that is? Well, that's because the trolley has bounced off of the collision surface, the thing that you're smashing into, and it's just moved back and forth, and it's hit it a few times. It's sort of vibrated in place, so it's detecting that. It's so sensitive. All right. So there's some of the main features. Just the last thing to consider is, if this is the point where it has no acceleration in the main collision peak, you'll also notice there's another point where it's at 0 acceleration there. So in actual fact, this time period between the two zeros on the main collision peak is the time that it takes for the deceleration to occur. So that's another feature and another set of data that you can get down. All right. So that's just a little bit on the analysis of the deceleration acceleration graph using the Pasco motion sensor. Hopefully that helps you out, and I'll see you in the next video.